Hey, Mohammed, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you very much, Hilbert. How are you?
Awesome, thanks, man. Thanks for joining me today. I think it's quite exciting that CYBER1 Solutions and Next DLP does a bit of a press release around our partnership.
Yeah,
Um, Maybe just for everyone watching, I'm Hilbert Long. I'm the general manager for CYBER1 Solutions EMEA. CYBER1 Solutions is a dedicated cybersecurity specialists operating in Europe, South Africa, East and West Africa, and the Middle East. Yeah, that's CYBER1. Mohammed.
yeah. Again, for everyone watching, pleasure to be with you, of course, Hilly. And My name is Mohammed Karim. I'm one of the regional sales directors covering EMEA for Next DLP. Now, with Next DLP, as you know, we're an award-winning insider risk, data protection, and cloud security solution provider. We take a lot of pride in the momentum we've built throughout the market in really driving the standard of what DLP should look like going forward.
Awesome. Yeah, I think Mohammed, what the plan is for today, I've prepared a couple of questions for you. I think you've
Yeah,
prepared a couple of questions for me around
yeah,
how our partnership's going to work,
yeah.
and maybe providing some insight to some of the customers watching this, um, to see what Next DLP and CyberOne Solutions are all about.
Sounds good to me. Sounds good to me. And yeah, I definitely have a few questions for you as well. It's always good to get an insight of how we're being represented, right, as a vendor, more generically for the market as well.
100%. So should we crack on with question number
Yeah,
one?
let's kick it off. If you don't mind, I'll go off.
Yeah.
I'll start off in that respect. I was going to say, in terms of as a GM, right, from your perspective, for CyberOne Solutions EMEA specifically, of course, there's no secret that we've got a long-standing relationship across other markets. As you know, in Africa, we've got a lot of success. More recently, we've had a lot of success in the Middle East as well,
Yeah.
and now we're looking at more kind of European, UK focus as well. So, what specific challenges or pain points in this region do you believe Next DLP can, effectively address for our, prospective customers or the market in itself?
Yeah, that's a great question. Um, so as a general manager, I believe that Next DLP can effectively address a lot of the challenges and pain points for our prospective customers. And I think we can break those down into some of the domains that we're looking at, right? So if we take data security, which is your bread and butter, I think Next DLP can help customers protect sensitive information from unauthorized access, leakage, or theft,
Mhm,
ensuring compliance regulatory requirements such as
mhm.
GDPR, PCI, etc. I'm not sure if you also experiencing that going to market with your DLP side of the business.
Yeah, 100%. So some of the things that you mentioned, yes, you are in the how lines of compliance. Of course, again, as we've worked in various different regions together already, we understand, of course, every region may have a slightly different compliance requirement.
Mhm.
However, the key is all around how our businesses handling their sensitive data, right? The most sensitive data that can put the business at huge risk, whether that's reputational, whether that's, again, as I said, compliance, so facing massive penalties, or contractually, even from their reputation point of view, right? If they have customers, we've seen tons of that, right? Where even global manufacturers have got so much or they have to maintain and ensure that the businesses that they're working with, the data is kept and maintained and treated with the utmost security as possible to ensure that they keep the customers' data or their businesses' data as secure as possible. So yeah, I agree with you there.
Okay. I think the next key one, and I think this is key for you guys as well, is the insider threat component, right?
Yeah.
And where I see Next DLP playing in this space is to mitigate the risk from an insider threat and perspective
Yeah.
by monitoring and controlling employees' actions.
Yeah.
Who can see sensitive data? What are they doing with that sensitive data? You know,
Yeah.
and preventing unauthorized or malicious activities.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, I think in retrospect, you're a insider threat company with DLP capabilities, right?
100%, 100%. And we take pride in that. We take massive pride in that. Not only are we being recognized for technology excellence and being leaders in insider risk management from the likes of Gartner, Radicati, GigaOm, Spark Matrix, for example. So many of these accolades that we're receiving from an insider risk angle, even though we're called Next DLP, right?
Yeah,
And that goes to the ethos of the company. And you've got to look at it. We are calling ourselves Next DLP because we are trying to have a Steve Jobs moment, or we
yeah,
are having a Steve Jobs moment in the respect of where traditionally speaking, data loss prevention was after you've gone through, and I'm sure you'll talk about it, this whole classification and this labeling and all these processes. You then apply some policies and then you DLP, right? With Next DLP, we're trying to change that whole angle of going from policy-led visibility to visibility-led policies. And that's where we believe insider threats, insider risk management is the way forward, because you're almost coming into the room, turning the lights on, seeing where everything is, and then labeling where you should be walking so you don't bump into things, or where
amazing,
things should.
amazing. That actually leads me quite nicely into the classification side, right?
Yeah.
I mean, data visibility and classification for a DLP vendor is key.
Yeah.
I've been in this industry now for 23 years, and every time you have a discussion with a customer
Yeah.
around data loss prevention solutions, the first thing the customer turns around to me, or turns around and says, "Yeah, but we haven't started our data classification journey."
Mhm.
Now, we see data classification as a killer of a data loss prevention solution or strategy for a customer.
Yeah.
Now, how does, and this is I think a very key question which our customers would like to understand, is how does Next DLP take that data classification and turn it on its head?
Yeah. Like I love that question. It's something that when we have and when we demonstrate and when we talk to infosec leaders across the world, not just EMEA, it's almost like they have a light bulb moment when they
Yeah.
realize. So linking back to just before what we were talking about, pardon me, the insider risk angle, we use that visibility approach, right? Where traditionally, if you are going through a classification process, now, depending on the size of the company, depending on the data that is consumed by that company, and every company will have a various different amount, it could take months, it could take years, right?
Yeah.
You've been in the market for 23 years yourself, Hilbert. I'm sure you've seen projects when it comes to classification go on for months and years, and almost hope the idea of having a DLP budget in fury.
100%.
So what customers and businesses tend to do is they will do a better classification. They would rely on 5, 6, 7, 8 different tools to give them some type of overlapping DLP controls, right?
Yeah.
So this is where our businesses that partner with us globally really love when Next DLP comes in here, because what we're doing is we're using that policy-free visibility, so we don't rely on things like classification. When we, as you know, for your customers yourself, Hilbert, that we've worked with together, the biggest thing they love is that time to value. As
Yeah.
soon as Next DLP, the review agent, is deployed, you then essentially have complete policy-free visibility. You without the need of classifying any document, because you're doing that all in real time. You're almost out of the box automating a lot of the PCI, the PII, etc., out of the box. So that's where it's really
100%.
powerful. And again, we are trying to have a Steve Jobs moment in coming away from this whole classification idea.
Yeah.
I understand in certain regions, Hilbert, that we work in as well, they
Yeah.
say classification, of course, is a necessity. It has to happen. And again, next DLP is able to solve that without having to alter any files.
Agreed. Agreed. The next stage is cloud security, right? And the way that I see next DLP playing in here is extending that data protection capabilities to the cloud environments, ensuring that sensitive information remains secure, even if it's stored or accessed from any cloud platform. Now, you guys were born out of the cloud. You guys, that's where you started. How does that
Yeah.
journey move forward with next DLP?
Yeah. So again, as you know, we've pretty much majority of the players within the data loss prevention place, the vendors, a lot of them, especially the larger players, would have been around for 15, 20 plus years.
Yeah.
Now, they would be, especially in the more modern world recently, post-pandemic, of course, where a lot of demand has come in to be on cloud. Next DLP, of course, was born on the cloud, as you mentioned. A lot of these other companies, traditional companies that have been in the market, they would have been on-prem, of
Yeah.
course. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but essentially what they would have had to do is almost uplift the on-prem architecture or infrastructure onto the cloud, right?
Yeah.
Now, where next DLP has a natural advantage, again, being born on the cloud and being a modern solution, the code is modern, the policy enforcement engine is modern. The policy management and writing is all modern and simple. So all of these pluses create so much ease for your customers. And then going on to that next step, the market has been calling and crying almost out for a solution that not necessarily DLPs the cloud, because there are solutions that do that.
Yeah.
And there's some great
100%.
solutions that do that, as you know, right? But it's more about how do we connect, go from the endpoint to the cloud and still have a systematic kind of journey and understanding contextually exactly how users are using the endpoint to connect to the cloud, and then what are they downloading or altering within that cloud, and then sharing or exfiltrating out, right? With
Yeah.
next DLP, that's where we're going to next in that regards. We're creating cloud sensors. As you may have already seen some marketing, some funny videos on LinkedIn, please do check the next DLP LinkedIn page if you haven't seen it already. With
Yeah.
a chap on the toilet trying to download the customer list for his new job. What Reveal Beyond, as we're calling it, is going to be able to do is provide visibility when, for example, a user is going home, going onto their iPad, going onto their tablet, unmanaged mobile phone, whichever unmanaged device it is essentially, and then trying to go into the corporate G Drive or Microsoft 365 and alter files, share files, and then essentially from there download that file onto this unmanaged device. And at that point of risk, we will be able to educate them, alert them, let them know that sensitive data on an unmanaged device causes huge concerns for the business from a data breach aspect. And of course, then uplift that, and then iterations going forward will be able to block those actions as well. So with
Nice.
next DLP, we would not be called next DLP. We probably would be called same DLP
Yeah.
if we didn't think pushing the market forward and doing these industry first things.
Yeah. So I mean, that then takes me to next DLP addressing challenges with collaboration tools, right?
Yeah.
Securing the data through the shares, collaboration tools, email, messaging platforms, file shares, and therefore reducing the risk. So overall, next DLP helps organizations enhance their data protection posture, reduces the risk of high data breaches, right? Ensuring compliance, regulatory requirements, and ultimately safeguarding their reputation and their bottom line.
No, fantastic. So you've obviously been speaking to a lot of your customers on what they love about DLP. So essentially, you're bang on, right? if you want to call it, instant messaging applications, collaboration tools
Yeah.
that companies are using. Let's just even throw an AI in there, right?
Yeah.
ChatGPT, people are collaborating with ChatGPT, even if that's talking to a machine or robot, they're still doing it, right?
And I
More than
mean,
ever.
on that point, AI is taking off like you cannot believe.
Yeah,
ChatGPT is being used in the workplace to assist, I mean, you, me, our customers in writing
yeah,
proposals, in writing stuff, right? I mean,
yeah,
you were chatting to me about a use case that you picked up on ChatGPT.
yeah.
Maybe we can just quickly chat around that one.
Yeah, so again, this is again talking more generically as well, without mentioning any
Yeah,
names. Again, these are just another kind of exfiltration that unfortunately is not covered by traditional data loss prevention. And we have, I wouldn't even just say it's a single use case. It's a use case, unfortunately, that is becoming more and more common, where IT teams, even DevOps, they are putting in code into ChatGPT, asking, ChatGPT, can you fix this code for me? And without realizing, what they've just done is leak, an API key, for
yeah,
argument's sake, which then caused a breach, right? We don't know, essentially where that information you're sending to in ChatGPT even warns you, right, is going. So what next DLP was able to do, and bear in mind, we could have done this 5 years ago before the
yeah,
trend around ChatGPT because of the way we've been built, right? With Reveal, we are able to monitor the browser activity. So when people use AI, and because we're at that kernel level, we're able to understand what applications are running as well. When a user is copying and pasting, for example, sensitive data into ChatGPT, we were able to immediately alert the user, educate the user, and say, "Hey, are you sure you want to be putting, sensitive data into a third-party tool like this?"
yeah,
And then let the user take an educated risk and then go from there. We could, of course, block the action and go beyond that as well. But these are real modern use cases. We're talking on Microsoft Teams right now, for
yes,
example, right?
sure.
You can externally send some files out to somebody via Microsoft Teams too, right? That contains sensitive data. These are all modern use cases that traditional DLP just doesn't happen to cover. Again, if you were to see some of the more recent releases from next DLP, which again, combined with being on meetings where we've seen the faces of prospects and customers' reaction, right, when they saw the new Shadow SaaS
Yeah,
tool from Reveal, where you essentially get a stock list of every single application that's being run in your environment, right? So from an operator's point of view, from an IT point of view, from an auditing point of view, the power behind understanding what sanctioned apps you have and unsanctioned apps you have in your environment is second to none in terms of how powerful it is, right? And we then can even go into further powerful telemetry by understanding exactly people, going into these applications with corporate email addresses or personal email addresses, and really dive into exactly what information, what data is flowing into these applications. So
yeah,
we do have a Shadow SaaS feature again that's really helping understanding the the data movement across all these collaboration tools, applications, ChatGPT, etc. And again, we've been doing this for years, and
yeah.
we take real pride when we see the market reacting to it.
Amazing, amazing. I actually have a question for you now. So how does NextDLP differentiate itself in terms of the ease of implementation,
Yeah,
the user experience,
yeah,
and how can CYBER1 Solutions leverage these aspects to attract and retain their customers?
yeah. No, it's a great question. So again, let's pick up on and let's triple layer back here, right?
Yeah,
Now, let's just look architecturally first. How does NextDLP differentiate itself? Or actually, let's talk about it between us. Let's talk about what our customers say in terms of what their frustrations are with their existing DLP solution versus what they really enjoy when they come into NextDLP. We both have been on calls where a business has implemented a solution maybe 2, 3, 4 years ago, and they still will admit that it's not fully implemented. They
yeah,
still will admit that the policies are still something that they have to get their head around. Potentially, may have had to hire someone that's an expert in code to be able to create these policies for them, or pay a ton in professional services for the vendor to be able to create these policies for them, right? So
Agreed.
DLP initially, in the first instance, and it shouldn't be a unique selling point, but it is. So we'll take it from the architecture itself, where you have a lot of these traditional DLP providers that either are still on-prem or were on-prem and have just shifted over to the cloud or use some form of virtual appliance where it requires essentially resource to manage the actual hardware,
Yeah.
or the kind of ideology behind it is 15, 20 years old. So the setup, the deployment is a month, 2 month, 3 month, 4 month, 5 month, and beyond. As we've heard before, 2, 3 years on, and we're still trying to deploy it fully or work our head around it. So with Next Reveal, what our customers love is deployment. I mean, we work together right on a very large customer in Africa, right, between Next
Yeah.
DLP and Cyber Solutions, and wasn't it something around 4 hours, 20,000 machines were deployed. So
Yeah.
these are the kind of differences you get. Again, forget XDLP when you are a SaaS solution, right? When you are cloud born, deployment, policy enforcement, policy management, out of the box policies, all of these things help essentially your customers continuously adopt Next DLP solution, as well as, of course, going forward in retaining it as well. The
Yeah.
other part of it as well, when new things come, like, right, so we already mentioned, and as we already talked about it, let's talk about ChatGPT, right, or AI, right? So
Yeah.
AI in itself for Next DLP, yes, we were able to protect businesses from it immediately, but we were also able to adopt it into our solution as well. And what I mean by that is, again, if you look at NextDLP's website, for example, even CYBER1 Solutions website as well, you will see that Reveal comes now with Reveal Extend. So this is almost like your analyst, your companion. When you log in as an operator, you can imagine it, right? You log into the Reveal platform. This is probably one of 6 platforms an operator
Yeah.
has to log in, right? But when he logs into the Reveal platform, immediately he'll click onto Reveal Extend. Extend will give him a summary of all the incidents, the context around all incidents that have occurred. So he's almost being given a briefing of everything that's happening so that he's able to digest that information and understand exactly what actions to take.
So tell me now, if I've got a customer, right, and I do have these customers that work in shifts. I've got
Yeah,
customers that work in night shift and customers that work in day shift.
yeah,
Now, an incident happens at night.
yeah.
The analyst is working through the incident, but now it's time to knock off. What happens, and how easy is it for the day shift analyst to come in and get
Yeah.
up to speed?
Yeah, exactly. It will be literally with a click of a button. You got to imagine, right? When we talk about the visibility-led approach, right? It's easy for you to think, oh, wow, that means there's going to be a lot of telemetry, right? A lot of information, right? A
Yes.
lot of information that I have to sort through to understand what exactly is that I'm looking for, right? Or what is the
Yeah.
grounds that I need to make sure I protect. Now, essentially, what I want you to imagine is when that shift worker is coming into work, incidents are created by the platform already, right? An
Yeah.
incident is a collection of, or I would say, policy breaches, right?
Yeah.
Now, Reveal Extend, what it will do is exactly summarize that for that shift, that person that has just started their shift, be able to identify essentially all the kind of incidents and the context around that incident that's happened. So they are instantly able to digest, and therefore, without having to look through all the incidents, through every single kind of data telemetry itself to understand what's going on, they are already told what to look at, what to look for, what's happened, why it's happened, what happened around it, what happened before it, what happened after it. So you're getting that whole visibility
Yeah.
context. And can you imagine how much more efficient that business would be?
So it comes back time to value, right? Time to
Bang
value
on.
and time to respond.
Bang on. DLP, if you think about it, when the common theme around DLP is that it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
It just takes too long to deploy. It is just a marketing buzzword, let's be honest, right? So when you're working in a market that has these kind of that kind of status, that kind of reputation, that's the first thing you really need to address is that time to value. However, is how do I make that time to value as relevant as possible, right? How do I ensure that I'm cutting through the crap, excuse my French,
Yeah,
and going straight into it?
100%. Yeah, that's very detailed. Thank you.
Okay. If I can throw a question back at you.
Yeah,
So in terms of when vendors, right, when they work with and partner with cybersecurity companies like yourself, and as you mentioned, CYBER1 Solutions hasn't just been around today. Over the last 23 years, CYBER1 Solutions would have been working with vendors, working with their customers, being that middleman essentially to tailor the product that they are going to be
yeah,
providing for their customers. Their customers, I'm sure you have customers that have been with you and still are with you over the last 23 years, right? So how do you then, with all these products that are coming into market that have been around for years and that are coming in the future, how do you tailor it to the exact needs of those customers from a CYBER1 Solutions point of view?
that's a great question, right? But I want to just bring it back to the next DLP perspective, right? So,
Yeah.
I mean, the way that we plan on tailoring next DLP solutions to meet unique security needs is because we've got the industry expertise. Now,
Yeah.
again, that 23 years of existence in this market has led us to deal with various companies and industries, such as healthcare,
Yeah.
finance, government,
Yeah.
and iGaming. Now, remember, a regulation in the finance industry and a regulation in the manufacturing and iGaming industry are three totally different
Yeah.
regulations.
Yeah.
So with us knowing and having that experience dealing with these customers, we are going to assist and we can, not are going to, but we can assist our customers
Yeah.
to get these customizable configurations and policies and regulations in the solution. The best thing of all with this expertise is if we have multiple customers in the same industry and we
Yeah.
pick up a incident in customer A
Yeah.
and we assist the customer A with fixing it and getting it all sorted, we can proactively phone customer B saying, Mr. Customer, have you seen this issue in your environment?
Wow.
Let's
Yeah.
proactively go and look for it. Let's go and
Wow.
fix it. Let's
Yeah.
sort it before it becomes an issue.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. So you are genuinely in all thoughts of it, being that strategic partner
Yeah,
for customers, right? Essentially, that's one of the kind of I would say one of the issues in the market today, right? There are so many vendors, there are so many
100%.
distributors that for businesses it could feel overwhelming that they are literally just going to different shopping
Yeah,
markets, right? They are just buying stuff off the shelf and then looking at the ingredients, looking at the instructions, how to use it, right?
yeah,
There isn't that kind of, I wouldn't say hand holding, but I wouldn't say there isn't that strategic partner visibility angle anymore that I see anyway. And again, when I'm on the vendor side, right? I'm only
yeah,
telling you what our customers will tell us, right? So it's
100%.
refreshing, and I guess that's one of the reasons why the CYBER1 Solutions partnership with NextDLP has gone on for so many years, right?
Yeah,
Was pretty much from the inception of NextDLP globally now. We're working together because you do want to take that angle. So you mentioned, of course, there has been, of course, some incidents where you've seen a market trend and were able to
yeah,
help businesses protect themselves from that negative trend, if you want to call it,
yeah,
by being active. So you're helping your customer be proactive, and I'm assuming with that next DLP visibility, you're then able to and essentially that policy configuration and that adaptable policy configuration as well. You're able to help those other customers there too. So that's brilliant. That's
yeah,
exactly what we as the next DLP would love to hear.
yeah. I mean, I just need to add as well, CyberOne Solutions is a dedicated cybersecurity company, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
and we have been a dedicated cybersecurity company for 20, 25, 27 years now. So really, cybersecurity is our passion.
Yeah.
And to have partners like NextDLP is phenomenal. The ease of use, we're working well together, our customers trust us. And, use cases that we've built can be shared across the various industries as well.
Yeah, and that's important because it's not just compliance, right, that are different across different industries, right? So you mentioned like manufacturing, for example, iGaming. The other advantage is, let's just use manufacturing as an example here, since we talked about already. There may be a particular policy that enables visibility across, or is giving protection, I should say, more than anything, for certain IP, intellectual property,
100%.
Right? Or even in iGaming, right? iGaming, a lot of source code. Again, property.
Think about coming back to what I said right in the beginning is, I think your core business is insider risk and insider threat. Insider risk and insider threat is applicable to any industry that you work in today.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
And that use case can be applied to all the industries. And that's what we bring to the party, right? With the industry expertise that we've got, we can assist all of our industries to get those use cases up and running as quickly as possible. There's no custom having to go write custom policies and custom sorry, I've lost track now. We're gonna have a cut here.
Yeah.
So let's get back. So custom configurations into the tool.
Yeah.
Mohammed, I mean, you and I've spoken at length at this, is you have got so many out-of-the-box policies that we can just go and click, 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 and the customer's protected from minute one.
Exactly. Yeah, 100%. So, and where did that out-of-the-box policies come from, right? Is partnering with the like CYBER1 Solutions, understanding exactly what is needed from each industry, what is needed from each kind of compliance requirement, and even from an IP point of view, right? What kind of egress points are companies that value their IP trying to protect, right? And was they trying to protect from? What are the common essential kind of challenges across those industries as well? And that's where NextDLP really shines. And even the ability to, let's say we enter a new market or enter a new business, or a new business arises. It's so simple to be able to create your own custom policy set, right? Where you could go in and create your own out-of-the-box policy, or work with your expert at CYBER1 Solutions, EMEA, or the NextDLP team that will be able to do that for you overnight, right?
100%.
With POCs where essentially, I mean, you've seen it, right? Where that we haven't had something in our product, but it was important to this business. And during that POC, in that POC itself, the research and development team were able to build that product or that feature from scratch for this customer and deliver it, right?
And I mean, that's unheard of, right? In a POC phase, a vendor delivering a feature request to a customer.
Yeah, and again, let's not say that we're going to be delivering feature requests on POCs to every 100%. Business in the world. But of course, it's more in line with essentially what is our ambition. You mentioned CYBER1 are passionate about cybersecurity. NextDLP is passionate, obsessed with the idea of being or setting that standard in DLP and really going. We wouldn't have been as brave, and I'm sure Connie Stack, our CEO, wouldn't have been brave in calling this next DLP, next generation DLP, if we weren't going to do anything next generation. And next generation doesn't essentially have to mean around features. It can mean even the customer support, customer service, customer journey. Even that is in its own league. And a lot of that comes down to the fact that I don't know if you've noticed, we probably have the smallest commercial team that I've seen in a vendor, right? I've worked across, been in the industry and even in this role for many years now, and I've never seen a company where it feels like we have something like 80% plus research and development. So we really are that engineering first, engineering led business. And that's where it really enables us to listen to that customer first,
Yeah.
understand exactly what it needs. If, like you said, if we think that a request has come in, a feature request has come in that will benefit mutually the community around the
Yeah.
globe, it's then we take that feature seriously and then we start building it. We have got some incredibly, I can't explain more. I won't name drop them and embarrass them, but our agent leads, our project management team, I haven't seen anyone like it. And I know I sound biased,
No.
but come in and talk to them at any time.
Yeah.
As you've done in our offices in London, you've come yourself. They are so open, they are so human. It's incredible.
Yeah. So considering the importance of the ongoing support and maintenance, how does Next DLP ensure a seamless and effective experience for our customers in post-implementation?
Yeah.
And what is the role that CYBER1 Solutions is going to play in facilitating this process?
Yeah, that's a great question, right? It's always, we already picked up on one of the biggest frustrations in the market today has been that post purchase of the
Yeah.
product. What is the support like? What is the ongoing support like as well? So post deployment, for example, as we already mentioned, if you look at references from your customers that you work with and deliver next DLP for, if you look at just in general references across the globe now, one of the key unique characteristics you see with next DLP when customers are talking about them is around how they value the partnership. Now,
Yeah.
for me, again, this is very unique because I've never seen traditionally vendors are there to sell products, right? Create products, sell it, and that's how it's received. Where you see so many references from some of the largest businesses in the world saying next DLP is an invaluable partner, it's I've never seen that before. It's incredible, and it's because our investment created by our founders, our board, our CEO, our entire kind of commercial team is in the sense of hiring the right people to represent next DLP. So, for example, if you look at Sheena Blanco, she is our customer success director as well as customer experience. She comes with experience, and I'm just going to use her as an example at the moment. I think she has around 15 plus years experience within the data loss prevention market in various different markets across the globe, Asia, APAC, EMEA in itself. So she understands the differences in between the cultures of different businesses, the understanding of different demand from different sectors, and again, type of businesses, industries, etc. Pardon me. She then employs a customer support team, right? Now, traditionally speaking, a customer support team would be essentially first line, second line, third line, right? You have somebody that will raise a ticket for you, tell you when an engineer can be available for you, etc. The customer support team at XDLP is essentially engineers themselves that have experience with in the market themselves. And it's again very unique. I've never seen it before
Yeah.
where that your first line, second line, third line engineer support, I should say, personnel is actually able to understand the architecture of that product itself and try to support you from that minute one. However, before we even get into Sheena's team, we love working with experts like CYBER1 Solutions, right? So you've mentioned not only do you have 25 to 28 years cybersecurity experience globally, yes, we are talking about launching today about the press releases in EMEA, but across on a wider scale, right? From the markets that we've already worked in and have had success in over the last years, right? From the inception of NextDLP, pretty much in Africa and the Middle East, CyberOne Solutions have a huge team, again, full of engineers, right?
100%.
Able to, have already understood the product, are being continuously enabled by the next DLP team as well.
Yeah.
But it works two ways. They want to be enabled, not just are being told to, right?
Agreed.
And from there, taking it back to their customers and implementing those fresh ideas, fresh approaches, and fresh support. Okay, and that's where it really resonates our partnership in the market. So that's to answer your question. How Next DLP continues the ongoing support, but when CYBER1 Solutions comes in. But I would love to hear your angle from what you feel like CYBER1 Solutions do for their customers when it comes to supporting a vendor like Next DLP. And it's a powerful product, right?
No, 100%. And I must say, I give kudos to the Next DLP team as well. You guys have got, I think every second month, you've got a channel focused update where you give the channel what's happening in the roadmap. Go to customers. We can talk to the customers about what's happening. Your partner portal is one of the easiest partner portals that we've been able to use, right? Certifications, it's very easy, very quick to get up to speed. And the most important thing, you've touched on it, I think, on numerous occasions, is if there is a problem with one of our customers and we can't even sort it out, we can leverage your team directly and very quickly. They are always happy to help us. From the first call that gets logged to the last call where we say to the customer, it is now all sorted. It's been amazing.
I love that. And long may it continue.
Yes, 100%. I think that's it. That's a wrap for us for today. Thank you very much for making time. I'm very excited about the partnership into EMEA.
100%. I'm calling it more of an expansion into our partnership rather than a new partnership. So I'm super excited as well. I know the team in this region are very excited to welcome your expertise, your credentials into this market itself. And of course, please reach out if you need anything else from me. I'm always happy to make time for you, Hilbert.
Thank you very much. And to everyone watching, there's going to be a press release. So if you want to reach out to Mohammed or myself, you'll find our details on LinkedIn. And please feel free. We're available. We're here to help.
Thank you for everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed the little informal chat. It can sometimes get a bit of a we can go on a tangent, right? Me and Hilbert.
For sure.
We love a little chat. So thank you for your patience on this, but I hope it answered or created any questions in your minds.
Cool. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.